This is Bianca from Netcare, a 911 call. She works for the setup company that the neighbors have used to complain about me. They either use them or the mobile crisis response unit of the Division of Police. What's interesting is that they can never provide the name of the person who called and just use the generic phrase, "a friend called." Do you need me to buy you some pencils and pens? Need some paper too? Do you check anything out or just go with whatever the caller says is going on as truth? Oh my God. Give a listen to this botched attempt to get me institutionalized.
And here is Netcare calling again with the same line. Quote, "A friend called," but can never seem to provide the information when asked of who it actually was. Here we go.
Columbus Police, 1029.
Okay. Yeah, I'm calling to request a wellness check.
Okay. What did you say your name was? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's Bianca.
Bianca. Okay. Let me turn the phone back now. And what's the address we need to go to?
It is 434 Midgard Road.
Okay. What's your call back at Netcare?
614-276-2273.
Okay. And who are we going to check on there?
His name is Robert E. Milligan.
Okay. And what does he look like? Do we know race, age?
He is a Caucasian male, 47 years old, about 5'9".
Okay. Well, why are we going to check on him?
I got a call from his friend. He said that he is endorsing auditory and visual hallucinations. He's extremely delusional, extremely paranoid. He is on social media ranting about how there's people having a conspiracy against him.
Yes. My neighbors would like me to move.
That people are trying to drug him.
Yes. Fentanyl was found in my system during one of the pink slippings. I didn't take fentanyl.
People are trying to take over, like, to kidnap him.
Yes, that was used as a scare tactic by my captors using V2K.
He is not eating. He's not sleeping. He is thinking that people are stalking him, so he's having extreme paranoia.
People are stalking me. It's not being paranoid if it's really happening.
Right now, I did not extra any weapons in the home, but he is going on picking up dead animals off the street and putting it in tinfoil.
Absolutely not. I was picking up bones that were left for me. They were like chicken wing bones, and I'm assuming that they had fingerprints on them. I kept them for forensic evidence that the Columbus Division of Police never collected and never analyzed.
The police officer said that he does use meth, but he's not sure whether it's meth related or whether it's mental health related. He does have a extensive history with us.
Extensive history because you let anybody call you with any issue. You don't document who they are, and you just call the police.
The probate and mobile crisis.
Oh, they probate courted me enough. That's for sure.
Okay. All right. We'll get officers out there as soon as we can.
Hey, thanks so much.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, bye.
I think I did some of these before, but it's okay, I guess, if they're done twice. Hocking Hills Tara. Who the fuck are you? How do you know my middle name? Sounds like you've gotten on the neighborhood removal campaign bandwagon. Why didn't you call me? If you're concerned, why didn't you come over and knock on the door? Why are you calling from 45 minutes away to do a wellness check? Are you paid to stalk and harass? Or are you a family member of the clan leader, Patty?
You know, it's interesting that these people that call all have the same story. They don't have the same facts, but they have the same story. Take a listen at this.
Columbus Police, Tech 116.
Hi, I don't know if you guys can even do this, but like a wellness check on somebody. So I'm pretty sure it's just like having like a meth induced like schizophrenic, like just like break from reality.
Okay, what's the address?
His address is 434 Midgard Road, Columbus, Ohio 43202.
Okay, who are we attempting to check on here?
His name is Robert Earl Milligan. And we call him...
M-I-L-L?
Yep, Milligan.
How are they getting my middle name?
He's like 40. He's white. He's like 46. He wears glasses. He's kind of balding.
Alright, about how tall is he, do you think?
Probably around 6 foot.
Okay, approximate weight.
Like 180. I don't know.
I wish I were 180. I'm a skinny 140 pounds. I've been the same weight for my entire adult life.
Okay. Alright, and you said he's having like a, sort of like a mental crisis?
Yeah, he just like, he thinks that like, he thinks his neighbors are like electronically projecting images on his windows. He thinks that like there's like, I don't even quite understand what he thinks is happening, but there's...
What I was proposing is that there were holographic images around the edges of my property. I've now come to realize that remote neuromonitoring can give visual hallucinations. So that's what I was experiencing. As far as the electronic harassment goes, I thought that it was somebody in the neighborhood doing it. But I've come to find out that it's not them, but somebody that they asked to help them. And I don't know what that entity is yet. I'll just pay attention and I'll get back to you as soon as I find out.
Like degradation of his like gum line, which is actually like a direct result of like smoking meth.
It's also the direct result of electronic harassment, and that's proven by basically cooking skin tissue.
That he like claims it's like some kind of like manipulation. He thinks his neighbors are like holding him hostage, and like there's video surveillance.
I have a neighbor who has a security camera aimed at my house.
Like he like drove to he drove to Virginia like a month ago and like tried to like hand over some papers to the FBI. I don't know.
No, I went to Washington, D.C., and I did speak with the Secret Service in Precinct 1 on the 21st of June, 2019. I had filed my first report with the FBI June 20th, 2019.
Alright, is he known to use any sort of narcotics or anything like that?
Yeah, methamphetamine.
She sounded excited there to give that information, didn't she?
Alright, does he have any sort of mental illnesses other than what you're talking about?
I
Anxiety.
Delusions, hallucinations, paranoia.
Just all things that come with schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Has he diagnosed with schizophrenia?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And does he have any sort of, has he made any sort of comments about hurting himself or anybody else?
No. I mean, he stalks his neighbors. He's like always taking pictures of his neighbors. But I mean, it's like,
I can't change the fact that my neighbors' homes are outside of my windows. Believe you me, if I could, I would make sure that there was nobody around. But that's just not possible. So if I'm trying to film something that is intruding into my house outside of my windows, yes, there are going to be neighbors' houses in the view. I'm not taking pictures of my neighbors' houses. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
he's not like threatening to hurt them or himself.
Okay. Alright, and what is your name?
My name is Kara.
Carol, what's your callback number?
Blah, 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 blah.
8307. Okay, any particular reason why you haven't gone to check on him?
I live in the Hocking Hills.
Okay. Alright.
Hocking Hills? Because the dispatcher said, is there any reason you haven't gone and checked on him? Because when you do a wellness check, you're supposed to check on the person first. Either call them on the phone or show up at their property to see if they're doing okay. You don't just call randomly out of the blue because your friends want somebody to move out of the neighborhood.
Alright, I'll let the officers know. We'll get out there and check on him. If you want to give us a call back and say around 6 o'clock, we might have a disposition for you.
All right, thank you.
Alright, sounds good. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
That's Tara. It's my fourth attempt to report crime. I know that I recorded this already, so I'm going to continue. No need to waste time. Something that I value very much now that I am a slave. I did all these. I want to know who my friend is. The officers came out that evening and spoke to me. Next day, NetScare came over in the morning. I was expecting 2 phone calls and 2 runs made. The Division of Police only have 1 record. Then NetCare called me on the phone the day after that. Ironically, the 24th was when NetScare created the probate document, removing me from my home for 8 days this trip.
Well, I got one of the recordings, so here's what I got from the 21st of June.
The year was 2021. The one that was blank.
Columbus Police, Tech 138.
Hi, Tech 138. My name is Kathy, and I'm from Netcare Access, and I'm calling to request a wellness check to be completed at 434 Midgard Road.
Your callback number?
614-276-2273.
Who are we checking on?
His name is Robert Milligan. A friend called, saw that Robert was posting things on Facebook stating that he's going to go post around some people because they're frustrating him, out to get him, and that type of stuff. He's also hearing and seeing things that nobody else can hear or see. He believes the government is talking to him, and they're sending microwave lights into his window.
And what is he diagnosed with?
Oh, whoa. Wait a second. Go back and see if I'm not entirely sure. The only thing I see here is unspecified psychosis.
1 second.
I'm sorry?
And do you have his phone number?
Yes.
What's his phone number?
614-506-1924.
Okay, we'll get an officer out as soon as we can.
Do you want a description or anything?
You can give me one.
Yeah, he's a white male, 5'8", 140 pounds, wears glasses and has thinning brown hair.
Okay, we'll get officers out on 138.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thinning brown hair. If she had been through half of what I have been through, she'd be one bold lady.
Coincidentally, the pink slip that Netcare performed, not pink slip, stay of detention, was actually left blank. The paperwork is blank. So I spent 8 days in a hospital getting filled with medication I don't need because I'm experiencing torture and nobody believes me. Let's see. I need the CD is short. I've been waiting now for 2 weeks for the voice transcripts of these 911 and run calls to come to my P.O. box. My neighbors are harassing me so that I will move out of the house I own. They use the police as a way to get evaluation after evaluation performed by telling lies and false narratives. The police tell me, "Robert, you're the problem in the neighborhood," and refuse to let me file a report of neighborhood harassment. They have called the police a total of 61 times in a 3-year period. At what point would you consider it harassment? The 100th? 200th? How many false arrests, incorrect forms, and forms filled out by doctors after being admitted to the hospital has to occur before the police will believe I'm being messed around with by the neighborhood?
Here is a spreadsheet of what I'm waiting for in CD form, of calls made to my address. That's only one of them. Now there's run by phone numbers. I need the CD immediately.
The poopy bucket. Here it is, live and in person, without the person that I want. Police and FBI give no help at all in processing the DNA evidence, which is found in pee and poo. More video can be found on my profile page on Facebook, Rem Milligan, and more information can be found on my journal page of my 6-year experience of neighborhood harassment and struggles to get my guaranteed rights and freedom back. They drove me crazy too. It looks like there's no sound. There it is. There's the poopy bucket. You can notice from the top to the bottom that the bottom is very dark. Joint compound is in fact very light in color and it's uniform. There's no mixing required. It's airtight. A lot of people said, that's gross, you need to throw that out, or that's dangerous. I explained to them that it's an airtight bucket, but people don't believe me. (911) calls and the journals. By cross-referencing the written accounts of my daily life from November 22nd, 2018, and transcripts of 911 and run calls made to my address, I should be able to prove that a few neighbors have lied to police in order to create 20 unnecessary mental evaluations within the last 3 years. Because I was refusing to move and unaffected by scare tactics and intimidation, they switched their methodology. Their choice to get the Columbus Division of Police in the middle of what they wanted, me to move out of the neighborhood, backfires with the voice recordings of the calls they made over the last 3 years. Their plan was to set me up so I would not be believed by creating a mental illness with their anonymously falsified statements. About 1.5 years ago, when officers would come out, it seemed all the time, they would say that Facebook friends were contacting the police and worried about me. If they were honestly worried about me, don't you think they would call and ask details about what's going on? Their plan is about to backfire in a serious way. I've been claiming neighborhood harassment to the FBI and police for the last 48 months, and nobody has addressed the situation. The Columbus Division of Police hasn't allowed me to file a report of neighborhood harassment, even after 3 attempts. The Columbus Division of Police is guilty of mental health or disease of addiction profiling and discriminating against me by not allowing me to file a report for the for the FBI to at least see I've made an attempt to deal with the matter locally first before contacting them. The FBI, well, I'm speechless as to why they haven't responded after 33 tips and reports to them as of mid-June. Their lack of communication with me has extended my pain and suffering to continue because of a lack of a response. Neighbors, since already in written narratives on pink slips and probate court documents, the words clearly state that you're in the view of my property. I'm fairly certain your voices will be on the transcript recordings too. I hope to learn the identity of neighbors who made erroneous calls to the police with the public's help. I've been tortured by the disgusting use of RNM, remote neural monitoring, which utilizes voice-to-skull technology to make me outwardly appear crazy by falling for their traps. The only ones who are crazy are the people who created this purposeful and intentional plan by making a YouTube video of the entire transcript. If I may not recognize neighbors' voices, other citizens may know who they are by their voice. I don't understand what all the stalling is about as it relates to exposing the weaponry. I vowed to not sue directly for damages that have already occurred. I need people's assistance in bringing closure to this chapter in my life. And if you don't do it right, do the right thing, I'm certainly going to try and get that closure one way or another. Then I can finally be free. What you see here is me holding all the journals. And there's no sound on this one. So, that's great. Anyway, Volume 1. Volume 2. Volume 3. Volume 4. Volume 5. Volume 6. And Volume 7. It's about halfway through it when this video was made. All together, there you go. Whatever I'm saying, it's not that important. Since you can't hear it, I'm silenced anyway, so it's a very appropriate video to watch. (911) transcript recording request. By the end of this month, I should have the recordings of 911 and run calls to my address. I'll be posting it here in the hopes that individuals can be identified who have been harassing me in the neighborhood. On my journal page, there is a reward for helping to catch my captors. I will include people who help correctly identify those voices I don't recognize. Citizens' help seems to be the only way that I can get closer to resolving the intense harassment that's been going on in the past. The journal page is on Facebook, and the title is They're Drone Me Crazy Too for more details. For specifics about the reward, go to the search bar while on my page and type in lucky number 7 deal. I'd recommend finding the entry that is more recent. Now I've just made it part of the about section, so I got a little bit smarter. This one doesn't have sound either. Well, whatever I said, sure, it was very important. Ending R&M with the government. In order for any contract, a purchasing contract on a home, vehicle, loan, or job contract, to be enforceable, there are specific elements that must be present for the contract to be legally binding. One of those elements is fiduciary duty. I discussed this element briefly as it relates to employment for a job. A job description cannot have any illegal elements to it. Otherwise, it makes the entire contract null and void. I'm very grateful I took real estate courses 2 years ago to become a sales associate. In order for the use of R&M to cease, I feel it's going to take perpetrators coming forward to reveal this technology and its use against innocent civilians, lasting decades long and with no end in sight. If the government wanted to talk about it or share it with the public, it would have already happened by now. There needs to be a safe out for perpetrators to disclose the information for the sake of human and constitutional rights. Our government must play with the same rule book as everyone else. Constitutional rights are guaranteed and should never be interrupted from birth until death. Maybe this will be the straw that breaks the camel's back in this very controversial test run of the program that is currently implemented by governments around the globe. Countries with governments that don't respect rights and laws agreed upon by the people aren't really free or democratic. The United States of America government needs to come forward with whatever information they know about these illegal weapons that are an invasion of privacy. No longer should a faction of the government ignore the people's rights, especially if taking those rights means they are committing psychological and physical torture. Letting precious time lapse allows more of these weapons to be manufactured, purchased, and distributed around the country and globe. This technology is the perfect weapon for a criminal because you don't need to go anywhere near the target to have an effect on them. It also can produce permanent brain trauma and viscerate animal and plant cells, tissue, and bone. The public has no way of defending itself against any kind of attack using the technology. Therefore, it is crucial that peer pressure be put on the people using the weaponry, because the consequences are very steep. Each hour, day, week, and month that goes by and nothing is done, more and more people become addicted to using the technology, and innocent victims are created. This type of domestic terrorism must come to an end.
And I'm here to talk with you about a potential way to end R&M and its use with the government. In contract law, there are certain elements that need to be a part of a contract for it to be legally binding. One of those things, for instance, is capacity. You have to be of legal age, and you have to, for instance, not be drunk when you sign a contract. That's one of the 5. Another one of the 5 is fiduciary duty. What fiduciary duty means is that you look out for each other In a contract, you can't make somebody guilty of something or put them in harm's way. The use of R&M for the perpetrator is the result of addiction because they become addicted to their target, and at the same time, potentially opening them up to spend life in jail or have the death penalty if they're caught. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think, and I hope everybody has a great day. Take care. Bye.
(911) Call transcript recording request number 4.
Hey everybody, it's Rem again. I got the notice that the public records for the 911 calls are available. I just want to show you something. They only keep records back 2 years. But these are the number of phone calls that were sent out to my address within the last 2 years. That is for the address. If I go to another spreadsheet, which they have, runs by phone number, that would be coming from my phone. Keep in mind, I've only called twice.
That's wrong. I called 6 times.
There's also this interesting one that has to do with Oakland Park Avenue and Indianola Avenue. It's strange because, as I recall, my Google location history showed me going to that location one day, and I didn't go there.
This is just going to be a short one. Enjoy the short video.